weeks ago, and I met Brian Tuning. Not only is he an awesome guitarist, but he's a really cool guy. Without further ado, I want to introduce Breaking Solace. What's up, guys?
What's up?
How you doing?
What's going on, man?
Good. How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah, did you have a good band practice?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Good.
It was actually just destroyed me. I'm beat.
I hear you. So then you'll have a nice sleep after this is all said and done.
Definitely.
Why don't you introduce yourselves and your roles in the band?
Okay, well, I'm Brian Tuning. I play lead guitar, and
Tom McCormick, rhythm guitar.
I'm Dan Burke. I'm the vocalist.
I'm Chris DeSalis. I play bass guitar.
And I'm Chad Turner, the drummer.
Well, nice to meet you guys. As you all know, I'm Joe Bennett, president of Talent Raters, and it's a real pleasure to interview you guys tonight. I guess we kind of ran into each other by chance, but it's really exciting for me because you're the type of band that's right up my alley. I've listened to all your music, from the Shattered Silence to Stand, and it's about as good as anything I'd ever see on stage, and I'm not kidding. It's very tight music, very great sound. The vocals are killer. I know besides having great vocals, you got great screaming ability. There's somebody else in there that's screaming with you. I don't know who the guy in the back. Very, very good. I knew there was two people screaming. It's just phenomenal music. And so talking about your music, why don't you tell us what you consider your genre of music to be?
want to take this one, Dan?
I think that we're hard rock, modern rock, but we bridge a little bit of metal. So we take some of the tightness and the intricacies of metal, but make it into a modern radio-ready rock sound.
I think that's a great answer, and I would say that I think there's a little bit of alternative rock in there too. There's a little bit. You got a wide range of diversity in the music, and a lot of people are saying that. A lot of bands are saying that now. We don't just consider ourselves to be sold just to one genre. We kind of connect to this one and that one. That's really cool, and I think that really makes the music really that much better and evolved in today's day and age. So awesome. How did you guys come up with your name, Breaking Solace, and what's the meaning behind it?
Well, Breaking Solace, I came up with it one night. A lot of the things that we sing about, that we play music about, the meaning is all like being at the bottom and finding hope, looking up and stuff like that. The first step of any problem is breaking that solace. Solace can be defined as a comfort or a security, and then in a side way, it can be described as like a false sense of security. So like hiding from the boogeyman under your blanket, like it's gonna save you, you know.
Right.
And breaking that solace to expand you into the wide world and to help you grow as a person, and that's kind of where our music takes it. So that's where we came up with the name.
And I think that's what I love so much about your music also, is that you can really connect to it. It really, what's nice about artistry is we're not always painting the perfect picture of life, right? It's those down, dark times in our life, and those deep, dark times, and how we climbed out of them, how we got out of them. And there's some of your songs we will get to it in a little bit that just really speak to me. I think then just really beautiful from the lyrics to the composition. And I think that the world is lucky to have Breaking Solace, and I hope after this interview, more and more people are turned on to Breaking Solace like I was after I met Brian. My next question is, let's get into the Shattered Silence. I guess that's like a 5-song EP. That's correct. And kind of tell me about, where were you guys when you made Shattered Silence? What was the inspiration for making Shattered Silence? What are some songs that you want to pull out and talk about?
Well, we want to go from day one before we hit the studio.
Sure, wherever you guys feel, you know, yeah.
That's like kind of where it all began.
Yeah.
Literally, I think it was a couple of weeks before we went into the studio. We had just brought Chad into the band, and we were like trying him out to see if like he was going to be a good fit for us.
Right.
And of course, like after the first time we like had him in, we're like, yeah, we have to have him as a
Yeah,
rock.
he is a good fit.
He's phenomenal.
He is.
You know.
Yeah.
And so,
Thank you.
was it we had a practice on a Thursday night, which was the very first practice that everybody could be at, and the very next day we went into Solomon Studios and recorded our first single, Thrown Away, and that's where it began.
But I mean, that's fantastic. But was it all like easy? It just happened overnight. All your music just comes so easy, right? For the aspiring artist that wants to know, right? And a lot of musicians, when I do these interviews, I give the question, can anybody become a musician? Sometimes I don't really ask you that one tonight, and some people say, yeah, anyone could become a musician. And I have to, as a drummer, I have to disagree. I don't think everybody has the chops. I don't think everybody can do what we do. I don't think everybody can sing like you sing. I can't sing like you sing. I can play great, but I mean, I can sing, but I can't pull off those screams without blowing my vocals out. I think it's a specialized or special people, gifted people that can pull that type of music up. And I consider it's okay. It depends on what you call music and so forth. But so just try to paint a little bit more of a picture. How was it easy making all your music, your 5 songs? Did it just come together, or was it a little bit difficult, challenging?
Well, okay, so with the music, some songs, we write a lot with feeling and a lot with emotion.
I know that. Yeah, I could tell that.
And some of these songs, like the mood just hit. Like one day driving truck and something like bad happened to me, and all of a sudden there it is.
Right there.
There's the song.
Yeah.
But then there's other times where, and the way I like to write and the way we like to write is what the song is about. We let it kind of pan out, and if the problem hasn't resolved or found its direction yet, we actually have to wait and live out the experiences before finishing the song, because we don't know where it ends until it ends. And that's when we can find the full motivation and inspiration for a song.
It sounds like you guys are so gelled that you guys just connect, and the music just comes out. And usually, because you guys have such a great marriage as a band, that it's not like rocket science. You guys just follow each other, and that's amazing, because that's not easy to find. I mean, I've been in some bands myself, and the fact that you've got that, hold on to that, because you guys really are phenomenal. I'm going to say, I don't just go off in Gaga land for everybody, but you guys really got something special, and I hope to see Breaking Solace. I mean, right up there with Breaking Benjamin. I mean, I like any of those major big bands, Godsmack, any of those, big stage headliners. I could see you guys going right up to the head of the table. So everybody says, you got to pay your dues. You got to pay your dues. But I think sometimes when you're that good, sometimes you deserve a rite of passage right to the head of the table. And I would say that would be Breaking Solace. So with my next question, let's get into the. I mean, before I go there, I want to say 2 particular songs in Shattered Silence that really speak to me. We're Thrown Away. We're talking about those moments and pieces. I think that the lyrics really speak to moments maybe that I've experienced in my life, tough times and stuff, and the way you sing it with such passion, just killer songs. I don't know if you want to bring out talk about those songs or anything else before we move on to the next to the album that you're actually selling. But anything you want to say else about Shattered Silence, or should we move just right on to the next one?
Well, okay, so like I said, a lot of these songs come from moments in our lives.
Yeah.
Pieces was a very particular song, and it came to me in such a beautiful way. My best friend in college passed away of cancer.
I'm sorry.
And so for the longest time, I lived in Michigan at the time. He lived in New York. I put off going to see him. And I'm like, dude, you're going to get through it. And when the summer comes, I'm going to be down there.
Yeah.
And he didn't make it 2 weeks, so I really blamed myself.
I know.
And then I was sleeping one day, and I was having a dream about him.
Okay.
And it was just like, okay, so this is a dream. It was one of those lucid dreams. You're aware you're dreaming.
Right.
And so I kind of knew I was dreaming. And then he turned and he started talking to me. And it was at that moment I realized it wasn't a dream. And this song just started playing in the background, and he started talking to me, and then he started to disappear. And it was really cool because it was a song I had just heard, but I didn't know anything about. So I went and listened to the song. It was Lean on Me by Dark New Day. And I listened to the words, and it said, I can feel the pain living inside you. I can see the change standing beside you. Lean on me this time. And I realized in the moment I started crying. As soon as I woke up, I looked this song up, started crying. I realized he came back to me in my dream to forgive me and let that pain ease. So Pieces became that song from start to finish, where it's all about the struggle, but in the end, the whole meaning behind it, it's not sad. It's, listen, from his words to mine, from him to me, he said, live your life to the fullest and I will be here waiting when it's your time.
Oh,
And it was,
that's nice.
so that's where that song really
That's
came
beautiful. That's really beautiful. And I guess, I mean, I connect to you even more now. I can totally relate. I lost my best friend to cancer in 2009, and that was my mother. And she was the only parent I had. And I'm okay to talk about it. It was really tough to lose her because you lose everything at that point, right? But your friend too, right? At college, you're right the same age and everything. I mean, that's terrible. But cancer is one of those things. I almost kind of look at it like, is that like the angel of death or something? You get, some people can get their hand away from the angel of death, but not everybody can, and then it's done. What my assistant who works for me, her father just passed away from cancer. It's hard. And maybe not so much for those people. Maybe we could say that they go to a better place if we can have that kind of idea or ideal. But it's very difficult for us to lose them that quickly. Sometimes this can be a real quick process. So I thank you for sharing that, and that's a really even more special song to me now that I know that, because I can really connect to that from my mother and everything too. So I totally get it. So why don't we move on to the new album? Really good album, The Stand. You guys can feel free to talk about the album as a whole or any songs that pop out to you. I can just say, to me, all the songs are awesome. So I call that type of album. I just kind of invented the name. Kind of, it's like a buyer's delight. Go out, you got a buyer's delight because you're going to get an album where everything is good, and those are the best albums to get, right? And that's the ones you really want to have nowadays because the competition is so stiff. But Last Chance, man, that's a beautiful song. My Eternity, Fear No More. And then what's cool about the Stand, I think, for me, is that, you've got these nice little soft intros. I hear the cello and I hear violin in there, and then all of a sudden, wham! It just comes out and attacks you, and I love that. It's just like, there it is, bam! And it's just hitting you right in the face. It's just great. So let me stop talking. You guys talk about The Stand, and this is your moment to sell your album, what you want to say about it, what you put into making it.
Man, there's so much to touch on with the new album. It's so much different, and personally, I feel like it hits harder in certain areas, especially like the anticipation, like you said, the intros, how they build and build and build, and then all of a sudden it's like crack, and you're like, oh wow, what just happened? That's how I feel like in my car, driving around or whatever, and I'm thinking about it. It's like, man, this was really, it just hits me in such a different way than Shatter the Silence. I have to say, I think my favorite, I would say 2 songs on that album would have to be My Eternity and let's see, what's Last Chance. They just hit me in such a way. Like, I really enjoy playing My Eternity. It's a lot of fun, and it's just very driven.
I agree. Yeah, they're very, very good songs, very powerful songs, very meaningful songs. And it sounds like, to me, like, Dan, you do most of the songwriting?
Yes.
But do some of you, I'm sure some of you contribute here and there, or is it mostly Dan? Or
There's a lot of contribution.
Yeah.
These songs, from the start where they were when I started them to where they are completely different songs.
Well, you're all so very talented. There's no question there, and you are a very, very talented songwriter, by the way. Let alone singing, your vocals are fantastic. I mean, incredible. Anything else you want to say about The Stand? I mean, as far as like, is it out yet? Can people buy it yet? Is it coming? Stuff like that. You want to point out?
Well, the album comes out June 9th. We actually have this major show in Syracuse. We're going to do a big release. It's going to be out on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, anywhere you can find music online. We're going to be selling the hardcover, the hard discs with booklets and lyrics, all on June 9th. So when June 9th hits, that's when everybody can get their hands on it.
Literally 1 week from today.
Yeah.
Actually, is when we
Wow.
Yeah, it's like,
Well, let us know, because we'll help to circulate that. When that happens, when that day hits, we'll help to circulate in all our social media arenas as well. So be happy to do that. I'd like to know about the gear that each of you use. And that's usually personal to every musician. Like I have a DW drum set, a Tama, and that's like, you tell me about your gear. It's special, important,
So we'll go with him.
Yeah, we'll go
This
with
is I'm the star gear guy.
I get a little particular with the gear, especially like from a guitar standpoint. I don't dabble too much with like the drums and things, but so guitars, PRS guitars always. I've been playing them for 10 years and was happy to actually joined the company in October. So really cool partnership. Love working with them. Just phenomenal instruments. Rocking PRS guitars. I've got a Laney Ironheart, which is like their modern metal voice amp. It's super, super cool. Mesa 4x12. I've got on the pedal board all kinds of cool things. Let's see, TC Electronics flashback delay, ISP decimator, noise gate, overdrive from Dunlop, chromatic tuner from Boss. We use all Sennheiser microphones through the band, which is really, really cool. And I think that pretty much covers my setup.
Well, how about an amp? I don't know if you mentioned it, but what kind of amps do you go with?
Yep, I have a Laney Ironheart.
Okay, you did. Okay, all right, good.
Yeah.
All right.
If you follow like the gear at all, check them out because they're pretty awesome and not very well known.
Oh yeah, what is it in particular about that that type that just blows you away? Just the cleanness.
It's the gain structure. It's really, really clean. And
Yeah.
It's not like loose and flubby like a lot of the Mesas where you have to put an overdrive in front of it to get it to tighten up.
Right.
And for our style in particular, it just works really, really well. It's not too over the top where it's just like that liquid gain that is fuzzy and I don't really like. It's just very clean. So
Okay.
all the notes here and it's just it works really well for me. So
Very
shout
good.
out to
Very good. Very good. Anyone else want to talk about their gear?
Touch on a couple things. I've been using, let's see, last year I purchased a ESP LTD Gary Holt Signatures, the red and black model. Absolutely love that guitar a lot. It's very fast, neck is fast, like great for lead playing. I have EMGs on there. And I recently bought, was it about a month and a half ago or 2 months ago, I bought the ESP E2. That's the blue one I always post about. Absolutely love it.
Oh, you should show that off.
Oh, let me show it.
Yeah, you should
Okay,
show
it's
that
right here.
You should show it off. Cool.
All right, so this is where we're at. I don't know how well you can see it. If the light hits it right, it'll light.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful.
So this
Very nice.
Yep, my newest purchase here. And I'm running through, as far as amps go, I have a PV JSX going through an old, actually it's a dime oversized cab, and we exchanged the speakers out of there. What do we run?
The 412, it was the original Eminence, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was the original Eminence, and then we changed it out for a 4-pair of Super 65s, which was out of which was out of a what was it, a Fender cab, right? Some aftermarket, but that thing just
It rips,
roars.
absolutely rips, especially the combination of the
Yeah.
pedalboard and those new speakers. It's just right on point.
So I know I have the three guitarists right around the lead singer. One raised the hand who's the bassist, just so we can point out who's there. We got the bass player, we got rhythm and lead, and then we got the drummer in the back, just so people can kind of get an idea of who you are through the video and see who you are. So I'm just curious. I know the drummer's a little quiet back there, but I'd love to know what kind of drums you're playing with. You can tell me about your drums a little bit.
Yeah, do you guys want
I've been
Yes.
I've been playing Pearl drums since I was a kid, basically.
Yeah, we'll give you.
Um,
Yeah, show them off, bro.
Oh wow.
I have a Pearl Session Select kit that I play.
That's
I
pretty.
use Gibraltar hardware, trick drum pedals. I proudly endorse Soul Tone cymbals. One of the best sounding cymbals I've ever played.
Is that right?
And, what a great company to work for. They're just amazing.
Is that a name brand that's out there? Silicone? I don't think I've tried those yet. I've tried Sabian, Zildjian Paste. What's that?
Soul Tone.
Yeah.
Yep. I also currently endorse Excel Drumsticks, another great company. Evans Drumheads. This is actually a signature model that I was lucky enough to be made for me.
Yeah, and so like I said, I'm not as familiar with that brand of cymbal, but you'd say it weights right up there with the heavyweights, yeah?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It looks nice. It looks really
I've
nice.
been running these for almost 2 years now, and I have not broken a single cymbal.
Oh, no
and
kidding.
I've played some of the bigger names, and I was lucky to get a year out of them. So I'm running almost 2 years on these and not one single cracked cymbal. So
Wow, well, I'm glad I picked on you then, because maybe I have to try them out in the future. They look nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're great.
Very cool.
Definitely.
All right, so let's move on. I think we covered gear. what sets you apart from other bands? Just lots of competition. Now, what sets Breaking Solace apart?
And I think it's such it can be a tough question to answer, but I know just working with these guys, I think that, and we've been told this by a lot of our peers, is that we do a lot of the things that a lot of bands in the area just aren't really doing, as far as like the work ethic and things that we're thinking about as far as, what are we going to be doing at every moment when we're up there performing? Or, how can we make sure that all of these songs, every single one that we record, could be played on air anywhere, anytime. So it's like, I think there's a lot of thought and attention to detail that goes into the little things that we do. And
That's
I would say
important.
that's the biggest factor that sets us apart, is just trying to take into consideration every detail that we can to make sure that we're making good decisions and doing, basically being the best version that we can.
And I think you're accomplishing that quite well, because it's in the sound. The other thing I wanted to answer, I didn't really throw this question in, but I'm wondering if you want to name your producer, because whoever's producing your music is doing a very nice job as well. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So the first album, Shattered the Silence, we did with a guy named Gabe Solomon from SNS Studios, actually right here in Auburn.
Okay, yeah, I know where it is.
In New York. The next album, we actually went with a good friend of ours who just started at a studio called More Sound Studio. His name is Justin Spalding. He's got a very good affinity for metal music, but he really brought out the tightness of the rock when we came into him. And then we turned around and had the entire album mastered by Jason Randall, and he goes by Jocko from
Okay.
More Sound.
That's cool.
And he just, I mean, this guy's been mastering for a while, and he just took the sound and sent it right through the roof.
Fantastic, yeah. Because kudos. It looks like you used you tried some different people, but I would say from Shatter Silence to The Stand, I mean, just both are phenomenal. I don't know if you go back to the previous one or use the same one into the next album, but I don't think you could go wrong with either one. I mean, the music is so good. Are you working on a new video that goes with your new album, and do you want to talk about that, if you are?
We're kind of in the talks right now. We're getting ready to release our first single called "Descend" with a publicist who's currently shopping it around right now. So we're going to use that to run our album to start, and we're looking at probably our second major release, putting a crazy, like, well put together music video. It's going to we're trying to do more like storyline stuff. We do want to get the members playing, but our music tells such a big story anyways that there's no reason why not to actually portray that same story in the video.
Right.
So
Right.
Just make an impact with it is the biggest thing, and telling a story, I think, is what we're really looking forward to this time around.
Yeah, it's more of getting that story and point across to people so they can see it in a visual way, and then when they hear it, everything kind of comes together as one, and it makes complete sense.
Well, I'm sure when you get to that point where you pull a video together for The Stand, which I'm sure you will, I'm sure it's going to be phenomenal. If it's anything like Your Denial, which was an incredible video, the way that kind of built in, and then it just kind of slams you as well and just kind of really just crunches all the way through. It's just a great video. We're actually going to close this interview at the end with it as part of the edits that we do and stuff, and it's going to be a very nice part of this interview. We're excited about that. So moving on, as far as the next question is, what do your fans have to look forward in the future? Maybe not just The Stand, but even beyond that.
Well, I kind of want to take this one real quick. Is for the fans, I feel like I speak for everybody here that we are there for them. Like, they have something to reach out to or hold on to, because we're all like looking to. It's like, oh, what can I do to? It's like, who can I hold on to? Who will understand me, or who will understand us? Like, we got the fans. Like, we are here for them, and like, I feel like that's what we all portray in some way or another. And especially whether it's on stage, off stage, in person, or just hitting up on the computer or whatever, we're there.
That's awesome.
We're like, we have a real story, and we're trying to tell it. And if you want to cling on to that, that's what we're here for.
And I'm sure they're going to love hearing that too. Go ahead.
Oh, a lot of the music and a lot of when I write the lyrics, The whole focus with these songs is to let people know that somebody else is in the same battle. Somebody else understands. There are people out there that are actually listening. And, you know, unlike, I don't know how other bands handle this, but one of the things that we really strive to do with future songs and everything like that, is be able to touch people with the music and then actually be able to respond to them. We talk to fans right now all the time. Like, I've got people that will message me about their day and how this song affected them and what they're going through. And I'm like, you know, I wrote this song from my heart. I know where you're coming from. I feel the same things. Let's work it out. And it's kind of what we want to run with the growth of all our music, is just, you know, making it about the fans. You know, even the little things, like, so you got the feelings covered, but then you go into the performances and everything like that. We practice our stage moves. I mean, these guys used to go outside alongside the road and practice guitar spins
With a helmet on.
with
Yeah,
helmets on, so we could synchronize our performance and stuff like that. So they're going to get that. With the newer albums and stuff, we're getting a little more into the digital stuff, better production, and just we're really exercising the diversity of rock music. So we're going to be all over the spectrum with that. And but like I said, the main focus is making sure that we connect with the fans, so they know that there are people going through the same thing, and we're actually, for real, we're actually here for them.
We're there.
Right. Well, I just think that's awesome, because that's what it is all about, the fans. I mean, even when you look back when you were a youngster, and you know, you got these youngsters now, and you're the guys that they want to be. You're the guys that they want to become someday. You know, so I want to be like Breaking Solace, and you wouldn't believe that, but that's where you guys are at now. And the fact that you want to please your fans and be there for them, you can't ask for more. So that's really incredible. Just real quick, we don't have to get into too much. You know, the time has kind of passed a little bit, but this is the first video or interview where I wanted to, you know, talk a little bit about Chris Cornell and his passing, and it's just maybe we could, you know, make a couple comments and stuff, and you guys can kind of say what it was to you. To me, it devastated me. I couldn't believe it. I think I remember being, like, I think close to a teenager at least, listening to like Soundgarden and Black Hole Sun and Spoon Man and Rusty Cage and all the great music that he's put out. To me, he's one of those, like, you know, rock legends that's just been around a long time and just always is on point. So I just wanted to have an opportunity publicly to take a couple minutes.
I'll hit on that quick. I remember when the grunge scene kind of started taking over, so to speak, and you had your Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, stuff like that. But Chris Cornell was definitely that vocalist that really stood out to me amongst all those peers.
Yeah.
Just an amazing voice, and I mean, he could nail anything, and even live, the guy was always on point. And when I heard about his passing, it was quite unexpected, as it was to everybody, and it just really goes to show people that it doesn't matter what you have in life or what you don't have in life. People go through the same stuff. You know, people are battling the same issues, whether you're rich and famous or whether you're a homeless guy eating out of a dumpster. You know, I mean, you know, those type of things really affect everybody as a whole.
Yeah.
And, you know, it just, for me personally, I just hope that people can kind of latch onto that and reach out. You know, if you're going through something, whatever it may be, you're definitely not alone. You know, I mean, look at this guy. He had the world by the balls, you know.
Right. And I don't think people always appreciate the lifestyle of a rock star. I mean, you're on the road a lot. It's a grueling schedule. Sometimes you got those tours, and then sometimes it's just like people that have to act. Everybody just think that just happens, you know. You just go on stage. you have to go on stage and put on that great show like Chris Cornell did that night, and nobody knew anything different and just thought he was amazing, but he might have been feeling like garbage, you know. I mean, that can happen a lot of times. You just have to perform and be your best every time, and that's not easy to do. And that's another aspect, aside from making the music, getting up on stage when something's not right or something happens to your friend in college and you still got to go up and just whatever. And it just, to me, it blows me away because he was like totally on stage fine. And then I almost wanted to say to myself, like, they just found a guy like laying on the floor with a band around his neck. And, you know, but you know, could there have been some foul play in there too? I mean, you don't know. I mean, but maybe it is what it is, but it just, I almost didn't want to even believe that could happen. And like, you know, who was there to help him? It's just a shame. But I'll just kind of leave my little comment at that. If anybody else wants to say anything, they can. Otherwise, we can move on into the next segment.
Well, I'll just keep it quick. You know, one of the things that really stood out to me about Chris Cornell is his voice was different. It wasn't your cookie cutter style voice. He took something unique and made it amazing. It's something that I live by because my voice isn't your typical cookie cutter voice. You know, you got all these guys with these beautiful voices and this and that. And I had what I had, and it was very inspiring. You know, listening to Chris Cornell, and be like, you know, if I put in the work, I can make my voice as unique as it is really good and stand out because it's so different. You can listen to some of these bands and, oh yeah, he sounds like this and he sounds like this, but you listen to Chris Cornell, you can pick him out from a mile away.
Signature
Stereo.
Signature
Absolutely.
voice, you can't miss it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and then like, you know, the songwriting and stuff, you know, you got to be really tight to your emotions when you're writing stuff like that. You know, I battle with depression myself, and a lot of that is what inspires me to write these songs of hope and fighting through. But, you know, like, it's one of those things, like, stay close to your feelings, but, you know, just, I don't know, it's really crazy. Like, sometimes, you know, people think that you're just writing just to write, and it's like, no, we write because we live it. Like, this is where we are, and it's just one of those things where it's like the rock star life. People think Chris Cornell and the rock star life, and it's like, guess what? He's writing from somewhere, and, you know, I guess it got lost in translation until they found him.
I have a really deep respect for you, Dan. I mean, you've brought up some like touching very sensitive areas, and I think that's going to really help people out there. I think it's going to minister to certain people, and not everybody does that. But the fact that you're comfortable to say, hey, everybody goes through depression. Everybody has those moments. Everybody has a tough time. And that's why those beautiful songs that you guys write and put out and slam out minister to us. And then it's awesome. And they help us get back on track and go, oh, yeah, I don't know what a life would be without music. I don't think it would be no life to me or any life. So for what you guys do, I'm very appreciative in the fact that you are open. Thank you so much. So I think you guys have a song you're going to play for us, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And what is that song?
We're actually going to play a song off our first album, Shattered the Silence. We're going to play the song Speak. And while he's getting this guitar set up, I'll just be quick. The song Speak is actually about a time in my life where I was living homeless in a car. My life had hit rock bottom, and I woke up. I was living in a car in a 24-hour grocery store parking lot, and I looked up at the ceiling one night at 3 in the morning, and I was like, what am I doing? There's got to be some way. I can't survive any longer. Like I need to live, and I need to just, somebody's got to hear me. I've got to go for it and figure it out, and that's what that song's about. So we'll play that song right now.
All right, great.
Yeah. what has become of me. Let this go on way too long. Now I've been left here with nothing. What am I supposed to do? I kept falling till I hit the ground. I now lay. Was I forsaken? Was I bent and broken? Will I ever escape this place? Speak to me. Show me there's a reason to keep on trying, to keep on fighting. Speak to me. Show me there's a reason. Don't wanna survive any longer. I just wanna live. I just want to live, yeah. How could I have been so blind? I'm so sorry for the things I said. Should never have taken you for granted. Can you ever forgive me? I don't know what I was thinking then, but it'll never happen again. Speak to me. Show me there's a reason to keep on trying, to keep on fighting. Speak to me. Show me there's a reason. Don't wanna survive any longer. I just wanna live. Is there anybody out there? Because it's getting hard to breathe. Is there anybody listening? If so, then speak to me. Just speak to me. Yeah. Speak to me. Just speak to me. Yeah. Speak to me. Just speak to me. Oh, speak to me. Speak to me. Show me there's a reason to keep on trying, to keep on fighting. Speak to me. Show me there's a reason. I don't wanna survive any longer. I just want to live. I just want to live. Oh, please just speak to me.
Awesome. Very good, guys. That's a treat. I think your listeners and the audience is going to really like that when it goes out. So we appreciate this interview. It was a great interview. I think everyone's going to have more insight to Breaking Solace now, and we look forward to more music from Breaking Solace. And without further ado, we're going to close out with their official music video, Your Denial.
So many days go by, so many sleepless nights, so many words unspoken. the